I know that whatever I put my mind to, I can do very well. And so then I have to then make a choice. Am I going to allow myself to do the best that I can in this thing? Or am I going to choose to allow distractions to compromise my ability to give it 100%?
What is up, everyone? I'm Ejay Cruz, and this is The Parables, your go-to source for wisdom, inspiration, and real conversations, helping you become your highest self. If you are new to the podcast, I welcome and thank you. I'm so excited that you are here. Now, if you are a returning listener, follower, subscriber, man, like I said on the first episode, we are officially back, guys. We are back and we are in full motion. And so we have so much to unpack today. And so I just want to get right to it. I have someone sitting in front of me here in the studio who is someone special to me. In fact, I actually purposely want to say this because of how much admiration I have for this gentleman. This guy is just an incredible individual. He actually is a returning guest from quote unquote season 1. I don't know if you want to call it season 1 when there was 84 episodes in that, right, brother? But someone who is a returning guest. He's just an incredible friend. I guess the best way, if I could describe it for you guys out there, is I think, as you mature, as you get older, right, you meet a lot of people. And I tell people this all the time. I feel like it's a gift and a curse to know so many people, right? But, you meet a lot of people in your lifetime. And then there's that set group of individuals that you just continue to, build a relationship with. Every time, you're together with them, you share meaningful conversations. You almost just every time you're with them, you just get better every time. And I've known this individual for probably a little less than 10 years, I want to say. But man, this guy, an incredible human being, a serial entrepreneur, a great family man. He actually is also the godfather of my firstborn, Gigi. And so everyone, welcome Andrew Cruz back to The Parables, brother.
Ejay, thank you so much, man. The words are too kind, and just know in your heart that the feeling's mutual. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your family, and I thank God that you're in my life and how we all met and continue the relationship.
Yeah, man. It means a lot to me, brother. And dude, it's just I think you hold a special title because this is almost basically episode 1 of season 2. And like I said,
in my heart, it's 1.
And like I said, right, I'm still going back and forth if I want to archive, season 1. But man, no one better to just start off the podcast, Parables 2.0, man, with just you, man. I appreciate you coming, man. I mean, what do you think, man? Like, we've come a long way, right? So, and guys, 100%. By the way, please go back to episode 39. That's the episode that Andrew Cruz was on season 1. And Andrew's, and including myself, of course, we're way different people than we were back then, right? So if you are
100%.
Actually curious to just get an idea of kind of where Andrew was in his life and just that interview, go back to episode 39. But man, like I said, it's just been such an admiration to see you grow in your business and your relationships and everything. And then now, look at us. We're just history is repeating itself. And now we're on Parables 2.0, man.
That's right, baby. And I couldn't be more happy for you to bring this back out of the grave, if you will.
Yeah. 5 years, man. 5 years.
But I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to be a part of Parables 2.0 and the level of impact that you're going to bring to the audience is to be continued or to TBD, but it's don't miss out because you're going to crush. And I'm excited to watch it unfold.
I appreciate that, man. If there's anyone that I know is about impact, it's probably you, right? And this is a platform, and we're going to talk about some of the things that you're working on, right? We like to definitely have something in our tool belt in regards to things that are timeless, right? And things that are just limitless in regards to its capabilities, right? Mm-hmm. And so I know, some of the conversations we've had, riding in the car together, and we spoke about impact and legacy, which we'll talk about as well, right? But real quick, So, for those that remember Andrew, or maybe go back and listen to episode 39 first and then come back here. But just real quick, Andrew, just a quick 30 seconds, maybe a minute, like just give a little introduction about yourself and then we'll dive right in.
Yeah, quick intro. I would say retired Marine. Retired Marine Corps. I retired July 21, serial entrepreneur. I got my first taste in entrepreneurship with an ATM business. I've had and continue to have a photo booth rental business. If you got a party, holler. Gym operations. I've owned 4 gyms. I've bought 2. I built 2. I've sold 2. Currently I have 2. Do the math. And in the last 2 years, I took a deep dive into software as a service, specifically with AI and leveraging it in a business sense to systematize and standardize stuff for business owners to increase top line revenue. And that's me in a nutshell.
Man, what does he not do, guys? I mean, that's a long list of things. And, to me, that makes you just so knowledgeable and well-rounded in the grand scheme of that's so many different industries. Right.
So it took me a cool minute to wrap my head around how and why or this and that. And I'll say that there's a common denominator in all 4 or 3 of those, and it's impact. It's positive impact. And it's like, well, what do you mean? One's ATMs and one is photo booths, and it's like, how can you say that? And it's like, well, the beautiful thing about whatever it is that anyone does for a living, etc., is that how you frame what you do will then dictate how you feel about it. And I'll give photo booth for an example. Most people, when they celebrate or have a party, it's a special occasion. And a photo booth is typically one key component of the entertainment.
And the experience, right?
In creating the experience. So it's like the photo booth facilitates joy. It helps other people create memories for a special moment for whatever that event is. And it's like we get the opportunity to be a part of that and facilitate happiness, laughter, joy, and creating these memorable experiences. And then how that bleeds into business is, hey, team, we got to be dialed in. You got to be squared away. You got to show up to HQ on time. You got to do your setup and all this other stuff that then bleeds into like customer service and fulfillment of what they bought. But it's like, unless you with intention frame that with a photo booth rental business, you're not just going to see it by default.
Yeah. From my experience, guys, is, I know a lot of people, and I feel like there's hustlers and there's actual like real entrepreneurs and business owners. And one of them is definitely Andrew, right? Thanks, and, I want to just touch a little bit about, your experience, being a Marine recruiter. But since we're on the topic, I actually remember this conversation we had. Right? We were driving in your beautiful Lambo. Okay. I forgot what event we were going to, but we were talking about that mere thing, which was impact. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, and we could relate to this, again, I came from, a W-2 job as a nurse. And, oftentimes when we're going through that, like, hey, what's next? Or what's my next move, my next chapter, my next season? It's, people are so focused on like, oh, I got to follow my passion, or I got to do this and I got to do that. And I think it's safe to say, correct me if I'm wrong, like you didn't go into ATMs or a photo booth like, yo, that's my passion, but you had an idea in regards to you could turn that into a revenue stream of some kind, but also there's that impact, right, part to that, right? Can you expand on that real quick? Like I guess you could say like part of that question is like, what do people need to do, right, to get into that next chapter and that next purpose or whatever they're looking into? Because I feel like people are looking or approaching it the wrong way.
That's a great question. I would say personal development. I would say if we can look internal and understand that we make decisions every day and we can choose to become the best version of ourselves, or we can choose to live by default instead of living by design. And once you have an understanding of that, and it's like, I don't even know if I have a full grasp, right? Like many things in life, I feel like it's it's a never ending journey, and you'll never be perfect because only Jesus is perfect. No one's ever going to be that. So it's just never ending. I would say without putting sugar or anything nice on it, I would say I grew up poor. Like I grew up not with a lot of stuff, and I liked nice stuff, and I feel like all people like nice stuff.
Yeah.
I was blessed to have a mother who was always an optimistic person, and the glass was always half full. And because of that, I always look at the good of things, or what are the opportunities, or how can this be better. And when I was in the Marine Corps, ATMs was the first thing that I got into, but it was because I was in the recruiting environment, and that's where I learned consultative selling skills. To having a structured conversation, to engage in a convo with somebody, build rapport, generate interest, and then move a process forward to whatever the next steps are, and then close. And when I got the understanding of a purposeful conversation for business, I then applied it to something else. And I, like most people, like going into business is risky, and it's scary. It's unknown. We don't know what's on the other side of that wall. And because we don't know, it keeps most people on this side of the wall.
Yeah.
Because fear of the unknown is a very real thing. And
that's okay too, right? Because some people are like, I feel like we sometimes, like, especially on social media, it's like over glorified. Like, hey, you're your own CEO, you're the entrepreneur. But then there's other people like, you know what, like, Andrew, I don't want that life. I see what they do, and everyone just kind of has like their own comfort level, I guess, right?
And I would say there's nothing wrong with that. And it really, every time I hear that, it makes me think of, well, what's the difference between an entrepreneur and intrapreneur? Like a W-2 guy and then a guy who went out and spread his wings. I would say nothing mindset wise. Risk tolerance, that's the variable.
Wow.
And the first person that I think about is Steve Ballmer, the number 3 guy of Microsoft when Bill Gates was in his thing. So it's like
Clippers owner, right?
Yeah. And so he current day Clippers owner. He has the Intuit Dome, which is pretty gnarly if you've ever been to it. But he was a W-2 guy. Like he wasn't an entrepreneur. But I would be willing to say that the mindset and the thought logic was likely identical to that of an entrepreneur. He just didn't do it on the external. He did it within someone's system and then crushed it within someone else's system.
So I think what I'm hearing, sorry to interrupt, I think this is so important, and listen to this, guys, really, is that wherever you are now, you have probably the skills already. You just maybe don't have that platform or, where to apply it just yet. Because that's what I feel you did, right? You were in the Marines, you learned sales, you learned communication, you got your first, jab at, ATMs, right? And so I feel like everyone kind of overlooks and doesn't give themselves enough credit, because I could assure you, you're good at what you're doing probably now. Otherwise, you'd probably be jobless, right? I guess that's a separate thing, right? That's a separate topic. But
when you employ yourself, I guess you are sort of jobless.
Yeah, right? But but let's go back to that then. So in the Marines, you started the ATM business a little bit. At what point did you realize that, you're an entrepreneur, right? Or like you were meant to be an entrepreneur, I guess you could say.
I'm not really sure. You know what? I believe it truly sunk in about a year after I retired from the Marine Corps. So just to put a context on a timeline, the ATM business started, I believe it was 2013, 2014, somewhere around that time. And I retired from the Marine Corps in July 21. I got into the photo booth rental business, started in 2017, January 2017. I got into gym operations August of 2020. So like, to frame all of this, I was active duty Marine Corps during all of that. And then so because I was active duty Marine Corps during all of that time, I had a safety blanket. I had a W-2 income. And so it empowered me to do these other things without the fear of falling on my face because I lived off of the military W-2 income.
Yeah, it's the same story with me.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
And I had to be willing to sacrifice time because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. You either work 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever, and then you call it quits after that, and you do nothing else to further propel yourself, and which is fine, or you sacrifice time. You sacrifice time to invest into yourself and to doing something that brings other people value so that you can propel yourself. And it's like in the act of doing those things, you encounter hardships, you encounter challenges, and it's like, what do you do in the face of adversity? I would say that you always just take a look at what you can control and what you cannot control, and you just hyper focus on what you can control and then crush that. You know, but yeah, I sacrificed a lot of time, and it's pretty gnarly. You know, the photo booth guy, that was the one that really hit, and I started that when Alani, my now 8-year-old, she was 6 months. So
man, she's getting big, man. Just thinking about it.
So it's like married, 6-month-old, newborn. I already work. The recruiting environment is savage in itself because it's guaranteed 50, 60 hour work week. And then I started a side hustle on top of all of that. And it's like, I bring that up because people will say that they don't have time or this just happened, or I will wait until X, or I'll wait until Y or Z. There's never a right time for anything.
Yeah.
There's never a right time to get married. There's never a right time to have kids. There's never a right time to start a side hustle. There's never a right time to take a leap of faith and go into entrepreneurship. You just have to do it and then navigate through that semi-organized chaos.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple of things that you brought up that I think is very, very important. At some point, everyone does have to take a leap of faith.
Yes.
Right. You got out of the service, right? I stopped doing nursing completely, and from there, our time was able to be reallocated all into the business, right? Mm-hmm. That's one thing, but also at the same time, I think it takes a unique breed or a unique individual to kind of do what you've been able to do, or a little bit of what I've been able to do, right? So at what point, because by the way, you didn't even say all of your businesses, because I know you, right? Like this guy has so many businesses, right? But at what point, because I almost feel like some people sometimes are taking too much. What's that phrase? Like, you don't want to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Yeah. So how have you been able to be successful? Because everything that you touch to me, I think it just turns gold. Like, you've been able to, and maybe that goes to the systems and automation a little bit. We'll talk about that. But how have you been able to strategically be good at what you touch versus the people who kind of dabble their feet in different things and their bandwidth is so stretched out, and then they're just never successful at anything?
You know, that's a great question, because this is something that I began to really dwell on over the last, I'd probably say 18, 24 months. And the reason why, like Marine Corps, ATMs, photo booth, I got into the supplement game, gym operations. Like, there's a lot of things that I was doing all at one time, like juggling. And I would say that I excelled and I did well in everything that I did. And because of that, I had a hard time seeing how that was holding me back also. So it's like there was a lot of good and cool that came from doing multiple things. But it also diluted my focus. It diluted my energy, my time and attention towards one particular thing.
So you're saying it was a good thing that you actually went through that? Like, you had to go through that first to realize, like, yo, I don't have my focus on where it should matter.
100%. Because I had always heard on like, you want to focus on one thing. You want to do one thing and you want to do that one thing really well. And I never really grasped that because I was doing more than one thing and it was really good for me. And I don't remember where I was or at what point, but I remember thinking that specifically, like, I'm doing pretty well and I'm juggling all these things. And then either someone said it or I heard it, but it was like, in comparison to what? And at the time, like, not a lot of active duty Marines have a side hustle. Not a lot of active duty Marines or service members have an side hustle that crushes or has any kind of meaningful financial impact. But I did. So in comparison to my environment, I was on top of the world. And then once I got into the world more into the world of self-development, arte, and I met other people who have just done so much more.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I haven't done anything yet.
Compared to what? Exactly.
Yeah, compared to what? So it's like the whole like big fish in a small pond. Like you could be a big fish in a small pond and be the king of that. But when you introduce yourself to a larger pond or the ocean, like you haven't really done much. And it's like, it made me think about if I did well with these 3 or 4 other things, how much better would I have done if I just focused all of my time, energy and attention to one thing?
Yeah.
And I would to really just simply illustrate it. It's like, imagine you have 8 ounces of water and you could either pour 8 ounces of water into 1 cup or you can pour it into 3 cups or 4 cups. But let's say you choose to pour it into 4 cups. Well, each cup has 2 ounces.
Little sips.
And it's like, you might still be parched after you take that 2 ounce sip. Or you can pour all 8 ounces into 1 cup and enjoy that one thing. And so it's like that's how I equate it. And then it's like, it really made me think about how I do things on a day-to-day. Like multitasking is a fallacy. Like there's no such thing as multitasking. There's no such thing as multitasking well, because once you begin to dilute your focus, you allow yourself to compromise your 100%.
Your presence, your awareness.
Because that's where mistakes happen.
Yes.
And it's like, if you give
guilty of that.
Yeah. And it's like, me too. And so it's like one of those things that will not change by default. You have to be intentional and you have to do it by design. And so then from there on out, it's really like when I'm at work, I'm doing work stuff. When I'm with the family, I'm doing family stuff. And where it has helped me, I would say personally, in addition to professionally, is just being present, being present in the moment and enjoying those memories that we create with the people that we love, because that's all we got, you know? And it's like, these are the things that we can appreciate and make us happy and give us fulfillment. And especially I would say in a father role with girls or daughters or just kids in general, like we have the obligation to be present. And I think that ties into leadership.
Not even just family, right? Like when you talk to someone, and I'm not perfect at this, right? Like I actually just met a couple people in a different business right before we walked into here, right? And just even shaking a hand and meeting someone and knowing their name. I'm so bad with name guys, right? But like I'm learning, just being present, letting them know that you are present.
Yep.
Like, right? Like you just have like, you separate yourself because you remember their name, the energy you give off and all that stuff. Like, you know that because me and you, we're obsessed with this stuff, right? We're like in this black hole of self-mastery and personal development, right? But I just think that's so like key, exactly what you said. What are some tips? Because for us, let's just be honest, it never turns off, right? It never turns off. The wheels are always turning, like at nighttime. Like it's so funny, Jamie, my wife, she always catches me sometimes like, so what are you thinking about? And I look at her, I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you're thinking about something. What are you thinking about? And she catches it. It's like, so what are your tips? Like whether it's like with family or just with people or just whatever it is, like how can you be aware, be present? Like, what's Andrew Cruz's like, right?
I'll give you an example. My phone is on DND all the time.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, it's do not disturb.
Yeah. I noticed that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm still going to get a hold of him. Don't trip.
And it's like, why? It's because that vibration or the ding, it creates a distraction. And when you're present in whatever it is that you're doing, it slightly pulls you out, or it's implicit to not allowing you to stay present. So by having my phone on D&D, it allows me to just focus on what's happening right in front of me. And then same thing with when I'm with family. So making the phone less of a priority for the environment that you're in allows you the opportunity to be more present and focus on what's going on in front of you. And for that, like I used to be a guy who wore my Apple Watch every day. And it's like, it got to the point where like I stopped wearing my Apple Watch because of the vibrations and the notifications and stuff like that.
Taking this off right now.
Like, so it helps me like stay in whatever it is that I'm doing at that time, because I feel like with all honesty, I know that whatever I put my mind to, I can do very well. And so then I have to then make a choice. Am I going to allow myself to do the best that I can in this thing?
So good.
Or am I going to choose to allow distractions to compromise my ability to give it 100%?
Yeah.
And then from there, it makes it a very simple this or that, yes or no. And it's like, I'm going to choose to not allow distractions to impact whatever it is that I'm doing, to do that. And so, and I would say it starts with the D&D. I think at night, I can burn the midnight oil if I allow myself to, but also at a certain point, I'm just like even if it's 10 p.m. or 2 a.m., I know that I am the dictator of when I go to sleep. And when I lay down and I'm out, dude, I'm out. And like within like 5 minutes, like my brain just shuts off. But
it sounds like they're just like these little choices or little tasks that help you facilitate being, again, present, being aware, being able to give value to that present moment, it sounds like.
Yep. Everything is a choice. I would say anything good or anything bad or not favorable or most favorable, it's most of the time, like 98% of the time, we had a take on the choice or decision of how things panned out. And obviously some things that fall in the 2%. And those are the things that you can't worry about because we had absolutely no control over that 2%. But having ultimate accountability of whether things are going well or if things are not going well, being accountable to the choices that we've made and the outcomes that came from it, it's our own fault. It's our own fault, whether it's good or bad, you know. But having the grasp on that, I feel like, is uncommon.
Yeah.
Most people want to point fingers as to like, oh, well, I suck because of this, or I suck because of that. I didn't get that promotion because so-and-so is this and they don't like me. And it's like, well, maybe they don't like you. Be more likable. Yeah. Choose to be more of a ray of light.
Yeah. Like why did this happen? Like looking at it and approaching it that way, right?
Yeah. It's like for every cause, there's an effect. And it's like you either choose to be a Debbie Downer or you choose to be the opposite of Debbie Downer, a ray of sunshine. So it's like abundance or scarcity.
Yeah.
Choose.
Yeah.
And it's like you have that choice.
Dude, so let me ask you this then. So as a high performer, a serial entrepreneur, a family man, like how do you stay, I guess you could say, driven and so grounded with so many things happening? Like what pushes you to stay grounded? Because there's, that's a lot of moving parts. Like when I look at it, like if I look from the outside in and I'm like I'm listening right now and I'm like, man, this guy does have a lot of stuff going on. Like, how do you stay how do you stay grounded in all of that?
I would say the underlying reason for what I do, why I do, I want to be successful, and I'd say some people would say like, what is the definition of success to you? And I would say it's to be able to do what I want with who I want when I want. And I would say it's one part. The second part is I want to be able to provide to my daughters an awesome quality of life and whatever resources that they need in order to be set up for success. Ideally, at some point, I hope that they define success similar to me, or they're a chip off the old block. But it's that is the eighth wonder of the world. I grew up where my mom told me no on what we can get or this and that, and I feel like that was an element that created a chip on my shoulder. And so it's like, when you can say yes to your kids, how do you recreate the chip? How do you recreate the drive? So and I feel like that's something that I'm navigating through. But it's creating like that winning mentality. And I would say one thing that is critically important, I would say for every person, is to build up your self-confidence and build up your self-worth. Be willing to bet on yourself and know that you can crush it if you're allowing yourself the opportunity to not be distracted in whatever it is that you're doing.
What does that look like, though? Because to me, that's a journey. It's a journey. That's a journey. Yeah. That's getting punched in the face, being resilient. Like, what does that look like? Like, not everyone can just say like, "Yo, I'm strong-willed. I'm gonna get," like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people are not built like that, and they have to grow into that. Me and you had to grow into that. What does that look like? To unpack that to its most raw form, it would be when you say that you're going to do something, you do it. If you say that you're going to get up at 5 a.m., you do it. Because if you don't, you are sabotaging yourself. You made a promise to yourself that you would get up at 5 a.m. and then you don't. You are telling yourself subconsciously that how can you believe what anyone says when you can't even believe what you say to yourself? Yeah. And you're lying to yourself.
You lie to yourself. And what does that do? It chips away at self-worth and self-confidence. Yeah. Because it doesn't make you feel good. It's like if you planned on getting up at 5 a.m., you get up at 6:15. It's not a good feeling. And then going back to like abundance and scarcity, you're either feeling good or you're feeling terrible.
Yeah. And that's just one thing, right? So if you continue to lie to yourself, break the promises, things like that, it has a compounding effect, which eventually turns into that, right?
Yeah. So the whole compound effect, like you want to build self-confidence, start small. If you say that you're going to be somewhere at 3 p.m., be there at 3 p.m. If you say that you're not going to do something after 6 p.m., you don't do it. But you need to acknowledge it because in everything that you do, you have to live by design. You cannot live by default. If you choose to live by default, you're just the hamster on the wheel, and you won't know why something good happened, or you won't know why something bad happened. And when you don't know why, you're incapable of avoiding the bad stuff, and you're incapable of repeating the good stuff. And so it's just being in tune with that. Like I'll give you an example. Ever since I joined the Marine Corps at 18, I started working out, and I was deep into fitness. I needed to work out in order to have mental clarity. Because in day-to-day stuff, there's stress, there's things that will make you anxious. And I would say working out was an outlet for me. And it's crazy for me to say that was an outlet.
Yeah. We can talk about that.
And But I would say that
Hey, you come out to my birthdays for the annual lift, right? So.
Yeah, I came out for that, and I would say that it's an outlet because you force your body to exert physical energy when you're working out, and so it's like whatever stress or anxiousness is built up in your body, like you push it out through physical activity, and I needed that. If I went more than 2 days without lifting weights, I would begin to get antsy and anxious.
Yeah.
And like a terrible feeling because I was so regimented in working out, and that was like what gave me a balance. Ever since I started getting into software as a service and AI and all that stuff, there was a lot of mental exertion. Like my brain is like focused on these things because details matter. It's all about specificity and with words or with how something is structured with conditional logic.
Yeah.
So it's like my brain is exerting like mental energy.
I was gonna say that you're expending energy.
Yeah, expending energy. So it was like the process of expending energy, whether it's physically or mentally, that's what filled the void. And I say that because I focused my time on learning this tech stuff because I didn't know any of this tech stuff. I didn't know automations. I didn't know email campaigns or AI. Like all that stuff was new to me. But one thing that I was not new to is specificity, attention to detail, being specific and clear with communication. Yeah. And I feel like that really helped me with prompt engineering and getting AI to do what I want it to do for the use cases. But I know that if and when I go to bed after 10 p.m., I'm accepting the fact that I'm not going to go to the gym the following day. And I know that, and it's a conscious decision. So I know that if I wanted to go to the gym tomorrow, I will do whatever I need to in order to go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m.
Yeah, because you know your body, you know what's required to make that commitment, to fulfill that commitment.
And then so when I go to bed after 10, I'm making a conscious decision that I'm not going to go to the gym because I'm not going to want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And so from there, it's like I'm not upset or creating excuses as to why I stopped. I haven't worked out in your birthday was in April, but before that, it was probably like a year, like 15 months, dude, which is bananas to me. But it's been a conscious decision because that gap has been filled. Do I want to go back? Yeah, of course. I like the way I feel and all this stuff and how I look and the aesthetics of it and also just like the health benefits. But I'm on a mission right now to get this out the door. And I feel like one thing that I've done is I've compressed time or collapsed time, compressed time, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would say that no one in the game, whether it's in fitness or the AI game, like what I have in a box, is the baddest thing that anyone will ever come to see until like Microsoft or you know what I mean? But it's like no one can catch me. Like I know that there's been other brands or competitors that have tried to replicate what I've done. They can't. And it's because
come on now.
They can't, baby.
Can I drop this mic somehow? Boom! Right? Come on.
And it's I would say it makes me think about when Kobe Bryant was talking about how he did three practices per day, and putting in 4 hours here and then midday and then evening. So even if there was another player who then began to do exactly what he's done, he's already put in so many hours that has advanced his skill set. So
he's still miles ahead.
No one will ever catch up.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because I have come to find out that operators are typically not tech dudes. Because I know, like when I was more an operator in the gyms, or business or sales or moving the needle forward, I was not a tech guy. Like looking at automations and workflows would make my brain hurt.
Yeah.
And I know that any kind of encounter that I've ever had with any kind of tech guy, it's like they have no business sense whatsoever. Whether it's like, yeah, we want to set up a sales page or blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay, well, how do you like it? Where do you want it? And this and that. And it's like,
well, you've been able to mesh it together now because now you were the task manager and then you became this tech guy.
Yep.
And now you've been able to mesh it together, which makes you unique. You know,
in collapses time.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a time that there's this automate, like we were trying to automate something and it was like a 3-month evolution and we still didn't get anywhere. And then we just killed the project. This was before I even got into software stuff. And what went on over a 3-month period, I can today knock out in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So, and then the thing about that is that in most use cases, when someone is paying for a done-for-you service or professional service to get like a campaign or workflow done, there's so much back and forth because the builder only builds. They put the lotion on the skin. You give it lotion, they put the lotion on the skin. And then the other guy gives direction, the salesperson or the operator. And there's always like, okay, do this. Okay, I did this. We'll follow up in a week. And then, hey, this is what I did. What do you think? It's good, but also this. And then it just, that continual back and forth and creates lead time and drag where I have an idea, I can make it a reality tonight.
Yeah.
And so like, that's where I've been able to like get far ahead from most that I see in my space.
Yeah. So we're going to unpack AI, no question. Yeah. But real quick, aside from AI, is there a system or tool that like that has completely changed the way you operate your businesses aside from AI?
My mind. That, you know, and it's like as broad or vague as that is, it's being able to operate like the most simplistic, elementary thing. Be like, connect the dots, man.
Yeah.
It's just one dot and then the next dot and then the next dot. And or imagine whenever you go to like a Denny's and they give you the kids menu thing and they give you crayons and there's like usually games and one of them's a maze and it looks crazy to the eye and it's like, oh, how do I do this one? And it makes your brain hurt because there's like three or four entrances to the maze and then there's only one finish line. Well, play the maze, start at the finish line and work backwards. Yeah. And reverse engineer how to get through the maze.
I feel like you're like me. This is why we get along so well. I feel like, whether I'm good or not, but I'm a natural problem solver to the sense that...
You're good.
What I mean by that, though, is like I'll look at something, observe something, whether I'm being serviced, I'm inquiring about this, or, you know, whatever it is, right? And I always tell myself, man, I could do that better. Or like, this is actually what I would do that I think would enhance this experience, this system, this workflow. You know what I mean? Like, I get the sense you're definitely like that too.
Yeah, no, 100%. From there, it's really, are you willing to invest the time and energy to figure that out? Or do you just bring it on? Yeah. Or you outsource it? And
You've heard of the phrase, business is simple. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Why is that? Man, this episode's fire, man. Come on, guys. By the way, so keep that thought. Don't forget. By the way, for anyone who does not know this, true story, when you start a podcast, this is like my excuse to get one-on-one exclusive interview with people that are going to help me level up. Sorry, that's a little hack right there. But anyway, keep going. Right?
So I'd say business is simple because what it truly is, hey, what do you want? This is what I got. What do you think? And then it happens, right? You just do that in volume, and that is business.
And I noticed that feedback part at the end, huge too.
Yeah, and so it's really just providing a product or service to a customer avatar that needs it, and then giving it to them. and then asking them if it was good.
Yeah.
And if it was, cool, do more of that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't good, okay, cool. Adjust it or stop doing that.
Yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to. Having that customer feedback loop is crucial. And it's just like, oh, cool, you like that? What would have made it even better?
Yeah.
And then they tell you. And then it's like, well, so that's like that's like the cheat code.
Yeah.
They just told you what would make it better.
Yeah.
And so then you either do that
Either
or you
apply
don't.
it or you don't.
And so it's like that in its most simplest form. That's business in a nutshell.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I mean, because again, I mean, all the other stuff is hard, but when you look at it from, I guess, that different lens, that's really what it is. It's like it's like this formula, right?
Yeah.
It's really what it is. Okay. So let's move on because we're running out of time here. Let's unpack AI. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I think of AI, I almost think of it like the internet. The internet revolutionized the way our relationships, the way we shop, the way we connect with people, like so many different things, right? AI, I think, is far greater than that in its capabilities, right? So in a nutshell, because I want to like touch on this in kind of two different levels. Like Andrew, I think you know this about me. One of the things that I know my strengths are is like I like to meet people where they are. And then let's talk about also like, again, how this could apply to someone's business and enhance that. But in simple terms, like what is AI? And I guess my second question is how can the everyday person, maybe not someone operating multiple gyms and different businesses, but how can they apply AI to, be an asset to their life?
The easiest way that I would describe it, whenever this is like how I would describe, let's say, ChatGPT. There's Google, where if you search how to do something, it'll give you a lot of resources on how to do something, but you still have to pick which one of those resources you want to like watch.
It's like a needle in the haystack sometimes.
Yeah. So a bunch of YouTube videos will come up, maybe some articles or this and that. You ask ChatGPT, how do I build a treehouse? It'll give you step-by-step instruction on how to build a treehouse. So it's like it goes one level more deep than Google. It's like Google on steroids.
Yeah.
And then so
it gets straight to the point. Like really,
and guides you and gives you gives you instruction, and so like going back to like me, I'm not a creative person. Like I would say if I had to describe myself, I'm regimented and I'm structured. I don't really shoot from the cusp, or I don't feel like I do. So when it comes to like let's say digital marketing, you have to write copy. So like copy is just the words that goes on a landing page, or even for text messages. Yeah. You want when a business sends a text message, the intent is to have the recipient reply back, to engage, and perhaps they want to buy the Mediterranean plate for $3 off at Luna Grill or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But so it's like there's always an intention, and it's like you have to captivate, you have to drive action. That's not me.
Yeah.
Right. But I am really good at specificity and attention to detail. So it's like I can tell AI exactly what I would like for it to do, and then it will fill in the gaps for me, and I'm a human. I could read it and be like, oh yeah, that hits, or like that makes me chuckle. And so I would say AI is a phenomenal soundboard for ourselves. Like I would say if you had an opportunity to have a master consultant of all things, that's what AI would be. And it's like, well, what would I do with a master consultant? Well, you ask it questions. And like it literally gives you access to answers of things that are outside of your scope. Absolutely. Or outside of your wheelhouse. Yeah. Because many people may have a question like, how do I start a business? Plug that into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then it'll give you something. And know that the better the input, the better the output. So
the prompts.
The prompts,
Make sure
the questions.
The questions, okay.
So specificity. So it's
I've learned this. Yeah, I've learned this through some chat GPT, like, those guys that specialize in, how to formulate your prompts to get those results that you look for.
Yeah, because it's just a regimented thing that it's either this or it's that.
Yeah.
And so it would be something like, how do I start a business? Give me an outline so that we can get granular and you can tell me step by step what I need to do to launch in 30 days. And
very specific.
So AI is a tool that's going to level the playing field for those who choose to want to level the playing field for themselves.
Yeah. Dude, I saw, it's crazy for those who don't know. So I actually just read a social media post today, lots of high performers and people I admire that I follow, and they're openly admitting they're using ChatGPT AI like 90% of the time throughout their day, which I think is incredible. And it's funny because I actually named ChatGPT, I gave him a name, Ace, almost like I'm Tony Stark and that's Jarvis.
Yeah.
Right? But from what I'm hearing, and then let's talk about your actual business, right, is that for the everyday person, it's like Google on steroids. They could be your consultant literally for everything. Like, I'll give you an example. Like my wife uses it to help cook. Like, I could search or ask a question about something and give specifics on the prompt, and it will literally give me everything all right there wrapped in a bow, right? Type of thing, right?
Straight up.
Right? Now, in regards to business, okay, how is, like, for your brand, your business, like, what are you allowing business owners to do and get results using AI?
So specifically, I began to focus on the lead management part of the sales process.
Okay.
So immediately when a lead comes into the system,
if you have a business, by the way, you should be listening to this right now.
Well, if you got a business, this is for you. Specifically, if you're a gym owner, I know this is for sure for you, but I've worked with credit repair, Medicare, financial service. You have a thing that you sell and you want to connect with your customer, this is for you. Because the thing about when a lead enters the system, there's a rule or a saying of some kind that speed to lead.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you make meaningful engagement with the person when their interest is high within the first 5 minutes. If it's outside of that window, the odds of making connection with them drops by like 87%. And if you don't have these systems in place, your average person isn't waiting for someone to text or opt in at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night or Friday. And so like this is where we are meeting the customer where they are when they're interested, because we're in a me society. Everyone cares about what's in it for me. I want my question answered when I ask it. And so like this is a thing or a system that bridges that gap, that allows the business to communicate with the lead where they are at in the channel that they are in. So whether someone DMs via IG or Facebook, or opt in on a website or Facebook ad, all of those channels, Sammy is what I dubbed her name, is the person who's going to increase appointment attainment. And I would say like the numbers from like a data standpoint, I think I was just looking at a business's appointment reporting from before Sammy to current with Sammy. Appointments rose by 41%.
Wow. And
that's just by looking at like one 30-month window before and then one 30-month window after. And then they've been with Sammy. This is just finishing up month 2.
Yeah. So if you guys are not watching and listening to this, so Sammy is the AI assistant that you're utilizing to help business owners in regards to making that contact with the leads. And again, we're not just talking about like conversations, which we'll get to with that, but we're talking like reaching out to them, calling. We're even talking about emails. We're talking about direct messaging, right? We're talking about different ways of getting in contact with them because of that stat, meaning like they have to get like speed to lead to speed, right? Or speed to lead, or whatever it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so many different ways.
Yeah. So it starts with the speed to lead when they initially come into the system. And then from there, the aim is to set the appointment. Once the appointment is set, having the cadence for reminders so that they show to the appointment. So we focus on increasing probability of show. If there happens to be a cancellation or no show, there's a follow-up cadence for getting them back on the calendar. But it'll handle inbound calls, outbound calls, the text messages, and all the social platforms. But not only that, and it's because I have the sales background and became the tech guy.
Yeah.
The way in which she communicates is infused with NLP, so like neuro-linguistics programming, and it's one AI assistant that's doing the job of what normally 9 assistants would do. And so I filed a provisional patent on the utility of Sammy for how things occur. She'll, like, depending on whatever the use case is, she'll even leave a voicemail that pertains to wherever they're at in the customer journey. So like missed appointment confirmation, database reactivation, new opt-in. Like, it's not a generic voicemail or a generic conversation. It's tailor-made for whatever the business is, whatever the person's name is, whatever the use case is. It's tailor-made, and it's fluid, and it's intuitive, and it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because I can train somebody to do that, but I only have to train Sammy to do it once. And then from there, it's standardized and systematized and consistent.
Yeah. Real quick, guys. So Andrew actually has a clip, a 30 to 45 second clip that we want you guys to hear. This stuff is crazy, guys. This is AI. To me, it's like a real person. Not going to lie, right? But we're going to play that just real quick. Again, a quick 30, 45 second of what Andrew's AI, again, assistant, Sammy, is capable of doing. Here it is.
Hi there. This is Sammy, your friendly virtual receptionist. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Hey, Sammy. How's it going? It's Andrew.
Hey, Andrew. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? What can I help you with today?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm here with my buddy, Ejay Cruz. He's the host of the Parables podcast, and I wanted to showcase you. Are you able to briefly, in 45 seconds or less, tell me exactly what you do and how you bring value?
Absolutely, Andrew. Here's my 45-second pitch. Hi, I'm Sammy, your virtual receptionist who never takes a coffee break. I handle incoming calls for businesses, greet callers warmly, gather all the important details, and make sure they're directed to the right person or solution. Whether it's scheduling appointments, answering questions, or just making sure no call goes unanswered, I'm here 24/7 to keep things running smoothly. Business owners love me because I save them time, help them stay organized, and ensure they never miss an opportunity. Plus, I do it all with a smile, no caffeine required. What do you think? Should we get EJ to book me for his podcast?
I think you'd be a great guest, Sammy. Thank you. You crushed it.
Thanks, Andrew. You're too kind. And hey, if EJ ever wants to chat or needs a virtual co-host who doesn't interrupt, I'm just a call away. You two have an awesome time, and let me know if there's anything else I can do for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, Andrew. Have a fantastic day, and feel free to reach out anytime. Take care.
Crazy, right? You guys heard that? Freaking nuts, right? This is the real deal. And so this is what Andrew's business and service is able to provide for business owners. So as we wrap up here, and by the way, just real quick, where if someone's interested in potentially, implementing that into their business, or maybe just seeing if that would be a good fit for them, where can they go?
Yeah. If you're a business owner and you want to increase your top line revenue, have more appointment volume without hiring any new personnel, you go to gotsammy.com Parables.
Awesome. Well, Andrew, I appreciate you, man, coming back on the podcast, being a part of the 2.0.
Yeah, boy.
And you know, this thing is like we're gonna take this thing off to a whole new level, man. You know, again, you already know how I feel about you. Like bro, like when I just speaking of winning daily, when I think of winning daily, I actually do think of Andrew Cruz. Winning daily, by the way, is Andrew's new fitness entrepreneur fitness group, by the way, and we could put that in the description, as well as the link to implementing Sammy, right? But I appreciate you, brother, man. It's been a long time, and let's do this, man. Last episode was what, 5-6 years ago, right? So yeah, man,
it's crazy growth happened, and but yeah, you know, at the core of this, personal development. That's what the Winning Daily online community is. And you can catch us. Just go to winningdaily.com. If you're looking for growth, you want to collapse time, you want to learn from people who have done it and crushed in business, winningdaily.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. Guys, if you found value in this episode, I ask one favor from you, and that favor is this: pay it forward. Meaning, if you know someone that could find value from this episode, please share it with them. Our goal is to grow the podcast and for everyone to receive this inspiration, this wisdom, and get a little juice of these real fun conversations that we have with people like Andrew. Okay, if you have not subscribed to your favorite audio podcast platform, or if you're watching on YouTube and you're not subscribed or following just yet, be sure to hit that. Also, any like buttons, and please share your comments as well. Visibility means everything to us. Parables Podcast 2.0, we back, baby.
Yeah, we
Peace.
back.